welcome to my class. Before every lesson, I like to take a moment and ponder the students and their competence to carry the weight of the knowledge of which I shall impart upon them in the course of a semester. But alas, we have no time for such dilly-dally. Let us get on with the lesson. Yes, I am Professor Ulysses T. Cook. You are in the history of the history of food. Let us begin. Ah, yes. And if you find that you are in the wrong class, please, the exit is over there. Yes, for our first lesson, I will be doing the history of something everyone loves. The history of something whose history dates back to the Roman Emperor Nero. The history of none other than ice cream. So, as I've told you, the history of ice cream, as recorded history produces it, starts and dates back to the time of the Roman Emperor Nero. Now, he would send runners, young men, up into the mountain to collect ice and bring it down to the chefs. And the chefs, they would mix it with all sorts of sweeteners and sometimes cream, sometimes only strawberry syrup and other flavors. And they would freeze it together. And then they would scrape it off and eat it for the rich and wealthy. Now, that is the first reported account. There are other accounts in Persia where they would take the ice from the mountains and they would store it in these ice houses. And then the chefs, they would come in and they would produce ice cream. Now, their ice cream really didn't have any cream in it. It was more of like a sherbet or a gelato. Something more of that nature. And it is that use of mainly fruits and lots of spices and aromatics that really punctuated their ice cream. Then we have the Indian ice cream. Now, once again, the Mongol emperors, they sent young men up into the mountains to collect the ice. It's very similar to Nero, and bring it down. Chefs would produce it, make it delicious. But now, there is another ancient civilization of which I have not touched on. The ancient Chinese. Now they pioneered tons of stuff in the world of culinary arts. And as you can see, they have pioneered ice cream. Their ancient ice cream technique is very similar and is exactly, almost, this same method we used in America in 1950, which is the date of this ice cream maker. Now here we have a hand crank, but the Chinese, they didn't. Instead, they have the churn. Pull off the lid. Inside, you have these blades, and you would put your cream and such, and flavorings and sweeteners and whatever else you want in there, and then you would spin it, and the blades, as the ice froze, as the milk froze on the inside of this container, the blades would start spinning, and they would start scraping off the frozen cream. Now the Chinese used this exact method, only they would not continuously spin it, they would scrape it off once it had frozen onto the sides. Slightly different, but still remarkably and incredibly similar. And now, as you can see, the Chinese have really won this round in the world of ice cream, as producing our closest thing to the modern way we make ice cream. But now, as you will see, there are a couple civilizations that will continually repeat in our history of food. There will be the ubiquitous French. They're everywhere. And then there's the Chinese. Then there's the Romans. And then, there's the British. They punctuate it every now and then. Then there's the Americans. And that's basically the main power players in the world of food. I mean, there's also like a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of other cultures, but you know, and mainly those are our top big superpowers in the world of the culinary arts. If you want me to go over them one more time so you can write this in your notebook, we have the French, the Chinese, the Romans, and of course we sometimes have the British, the Americans, and whoever else. Those are our main power players. Of course, the Chinese have really won this round of ice cream with using the exact same method way back, and I believe it was the it was the Qin Dynasty, I believe. So that a very long time back before the Great Wall was built, actually. I believe. So, how this ice cream trend that I have here from the 1950s in America, we have our vat, of which we fill with salt and ice. Now, in this class, I don't want any of my students to shy away from technology, science, engineering, math, whatever, anything. But I will let you be scared of English, because English is frightfully fearful. We put the salt in with the ice to lower the freezing point of the ice, making it colder, making the milk and our cream, our ice cream, freeze quicker. Now what that does is it makes those ice crystals smaller as opposed to larger, because the more time crystalline structures are given to crystallize means that they get larger. Now, the same reason why we put ice and salt in here and then spin it around is the same reason why we also use liquid nitrogen sometimes. But now, the chemistry department, they would not give me any liquid nitrogen for me to make any liquid nitrogen ice cream. I'm sad to say. But, you know, that is still another day, which hopefully will come in the future, when I am more respected. I'm slightly new here. But now, I will assemble this ice cream churn for you today. Now, we have to kind of hit it together properly. And it kind of fits together, kind of like this. This is just a rough explanation because I'm not actually going to make any ice cream. Now, you see how it's in there. You turn it, and the blades on the inside scrape off the milk and the cream as it freezes. Alright, but now, here's the thing. I can put this away for now. You can even make ice cream in your own dorm with a plastic bag you can. Although, I do not recommend it. Now, to the history of ice cream in America in World War II. Now basically, what does ice cream have to do with World War II? I mean, it's not like they're shooting ice cream or they're trying to kill people with ice cream. No. Back when we were fighting in the Pacific, the US Navy, they decided to build an ice cream boat that was basically a floating ice cream parlor. Now, back home, before we all went to fight, there were ice cream parlors on every street corner. Everyone loved it. It was wonderfully good fun. But then, they decided to build this floating ice cream parlor and float it around the Pacific and feed the soldiers ice cream. Now, ice cream isn't like fighting food. It's not like an MRE with tons of food, but it does boost one critical thing. It boosts morale. And that is why the Navy made a floating ice cream parlor that could produce a ton of ice cream every hour. Lots of people on that boat. And I believe, class, you are unfortunately dismissed. Now I will go and take a nap. Hey guys, thanks for watching. It's been me all along, Logan Young Chef. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and the subscribe button. And if you have something a history of something, like a food, like bacon or whatnot, just shoot a comment down there, DM me, whatever. I'm pretty easy to find, and I'll historify it. Yeah, that's about it. Be sure to check for any Instagram stories I do. I try and make sure that those are really creative and stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side.